All right, it's a good Tuesday morning. Who's fired up? Hey, I said that I was going to do midweek rant videos or just statement videos. I hadn't put one out yet. I still want to do one about quantitative easement or easing. Yeah, quantitative easing. We'll talk about that at a later video. But I want to be transparent with whatever audience is watching, and however few or how large the number is. The reason why I do the episodes on Fridays is because I think if I'm going to tell you what I do and what I think you should do, if I'm going to give you advice or just speak from my experience, which my experience is my own, chances are it's similar if not identical to yours. But if I'm going to speak to you from my experience, I feel like it's imperative that I give you some access into my life to the degree that I can. Obviously, we have to have privacy. I have children, I have a wife. There has to be some boundaries. But I think it's important for anyone that's doing what I'm doing, talking about entrepreneurship, money, pitching ideas, promulgating concepts, challenging people, challenging myself. I think it's important to be transparent. And I wanted to take this opportunity today to touch on, basically something that I did that wasn't a big mistake, but it was a mistake. And I wanted to reach out to you guys about it. And it also, too, touch on where it comes from, which is really a mentality of poverty. So a mentality of poverty expresses itself differently. Most of the time, what we see, though, is that it's a situation where it's somebody always blaming others. They're always blaming others for their problems or their situation, society, racism, bigotry, sexism, whatever, intolerance, whatever. And all those things can be real. I've actually, believe it or not, I've actually experienced some of those expressions of bigotry. But ultimately, when you're in that blame mode, that mentality of poverty, you're choosing to focus on something that you can't control. At the end of the day, if someone dislikes you or hates you or whatever the case may be, I apologize for the angle. I'm in the car getting ready to head to a job site. But if someone dislikes you or hates you or whatever the case may be because of your ethnicity, your gender, your religion, your sexual orientation, political leanings, whatever the case may be, you can't control, legislate, or really change what they think. I think we can influence it through a good attitude and through a righteous way of living. And when I say righteous, for those of you that may or may not be, spiritual or be believers, I just mean someone who's willing to follow through with what they say they're going to do. Be honest, be strong. Look someone in the eye and tell them, hey, I can or cannot do this, or hey, I messed this up. I'm going to fix it for you. It's my fault. But a lot of times with the mentality of poverty, we're constantly focusing on those things that we can't control, as opposed to focusing on the one thing, there's that one, that we can control, which is our own thoughts, our own emotions, and most importantly, our own actions. And it creeps up in people all the time. It crept up in me this week. I got an opportunity to do a teardown job. It was really a great opportunity for me. I hope that I can continue to do work for the property management company. I really appreciate them taking a chance on me. My trailer is only rated for a certain amount of weight, and when I bid the job, I don't think bidded's a word. When I bid the job, I told the manager up front, hey, I'm not going to take the bricks or the stones that the building's sitting on because I just don't want to, and it's too heavy. Which isn't a big deal, except that it's not a big deal because he agreed to it. But what is a big deal is he assumed, and this is my fault, he assumed that those stones were actually in the earth and not sitting on top of the ground, supporting the structure, basically kind of like a loose wall or like an above ground foundational stone type situation. I apologize, I'm not a builder. Not really. At least I don't build houses. But I basically said, hey, this is the job. I think it's done. You let me know. And he said, well, hey, Zach, I know you said you weren't going to take the stones or the bricks, but I assumed they were in the ground. Those are on the ground. They got to go. They count as debris. And at first, it's like, well, if you're going to do that, I need you to pay me to dump them. I wasn't even going to ask for him to pay me. I was like, hey, just pay the cost to dump them. But the truth is, that was wrong. That was not the right thing to do. This guy accepted my bid. He trusted me to get the job done. And I did. I'm finishing it up today. But because it wasn't as conducive for me as I wanted it to be, a mentality of poverty crept up in me. And I was trying to get more out of the deal than really what I should have, because I've been tired. I'm ready to move on. I want to do different work. I'm ready to get my season started. And, this is what happened. I didn't do anything wrong, but at the same time, too, and I don't even know if he knows it, but my attitude was off. My attitude about the job was wrong. He paid me to do a job, and I should have said, thank you, sir. I'm excited, and I should have went out here and done it. No questions asked. The only thing he should have got from me is, hey, I think everything's gone. You let me know. And if he says, hey, Zach, I need you to get those rocks, boom. Hey, thank you, sir. I'll do it. That should have been my attitude. And the reason why it wasn't is because I've been tired. I'm doing all this different stuff. But really, that's not an excuse. It's just ultimately a mentality of poverty. And it creeps up all the time. And we have to constantly guard against that, because ultimately the mentality of poverty wants to point the finger at someone else, as opposed to look at ourselves in our mirror and say, well, what am I doing? Am I eating right? Am I giving my best effort? Am I being as honest as I can be? Am I being the best steward with my money, my talent, and my treasure? Money is treasure. But my time, talent, and treasure. Am I being the best that I can be? Because the truth is, we can't control other people's actions. We can control whom we deal with, and we can't control reading the signs. I apologize. The angle's I keep moving around. We can control, though, us learning from previous experiences to try and make sure that we can see a bad thing coming and avoid it. Not that this job's a bad thing that I'm doing. This job's amazing. I'm thankful for it. I hope I get more out of them. But like I said, I wanted to be transparent. And I'm finishing the job of the day. I'm excited. I'm going to wrap everything up. I got a pressure washing job tomorrow with a gentleman that I pressure washed his house last year. I'm building momentum. My customer base is starting to call me back for more work, which is great. Plus, I'm adding to it. I'm really excited. I mean, this is my second year of full-time business, and I'm doing more. I'm positioned to do more than ever, and I'm really excited about that. But I wanted to be honest with you guys about, I try to be positive. I try to be strong. I feel like I am. But, as great as my life is and as strong and as positive as I am, I'm just as susceptible to get a bad attitude as anyone. And ultimately, that's just an attitude of poverty. That's just an attitude of, it's someone else's fault. I deserve more. I don't want to do enough. I want to do the bare minimum. How dare you ask me to do more? That's a foolish, foolish way of thinking. And it kicked me in the teeth this week. And honestly, it embarrassed me. And I wanted to put that out there because I'm promising you guys now, and I'm promising myself, I'm putting this out there to put myself accountable as well, because once it's out, right? I'm never going to do that again. I'm going to bid the job right. I'm going to make sure that the customer knows exactly what I can and cannot do, also what I'm willing to do up front. And I'm going to agree to that and smile about the opportunity and thank them, and probably write a thank you card, because that's what's demanded of me, and that's what I can control. That's what I can actually do. Now, if in the midst of doing the work, I find more work, or there's work that exposes itself that's outside of the bid, that's a different story. That can happen mainly in building jobs, or if there's a deck job that I bid where they got to have some boards replaced. Some of the structural supports probably need to be replaced too. And I let him know, here's the bid to replace the boards, pressure wash, and stain the deck. If in the process of replacing some boards, we find more structural work, the bid will go up. So I always try to be honest, but I also manage expectations. But concerning this job, I've wanted to get it done. I want to move on. And unfortunately, I'm not perfect. A bad attitude crept in, and I wasn't disrespectful to the property manager. He's a good guy, and so far the company's been above board with me. It's just me, and I'm going to tell him today after I get it done, you don't owe me a dime. You've already paid me. I apologize. I hope this hasn't soured you on me, which I don't think it has, but, I wanted to get the job done a lot faster. One of the things that frustrates me about this, again, being transparent, moving along, had a great opportunity to actually knock this job out in like a day. And I had a crew come in and help me. And basically, I just mismanaged it. I didn't really maximize their labor as well as the gear that we had to really get all the debris away in a really fast amount of time. Arguably, too, where maybe I wouldn't even have to do any work physically, but still make money. Because I was willing to share the profits with other people to speed it up. So I'm frustrated myself that I mismanaged it. Again, the job's done. It looks great. It's it's facilitated. I'm just saying, me personally, how I'm running my business, I want to be better. But that's played into me like, man, I want to get this job done. Come on, let's go. And really not putting forth the effort that I should. If I needed to put 10 hours in a day, I need to put 10 hours in a day. And ultimately, it's just because I let a bad attitude creep up in me, and I don't want to do that. So I'm putting this out here today, and I apologize too. I'm using the camera on the face, not the back camera. The back camera is, I think, a little better, but I wanted to put this out today. I'm never going to do that again, and I would challenge you: don't do it either. If you get into a situation where you underbid it, or you're doing more work than you should, and you willingly did it, it's one thing if you got lied to. That's a different situation. But if you said, hey, I can do this, and you're like, oh God, I can't, take your beating and move on and learn from it. This is another thing that I'm learning from. Again, I've done the job very well. It just took longer than I want to, and I got frustrated, and I allowed myself to develop a bad attitude. And there's no reason to. I got paid. The customer likes what I'm doing. It's got to be done by tomorrow. I'm going to get it done probably in 3 hours today. I just got a call from a customer who wants me to do more work. I mean, there's no reason to have a bad attitude. It's just easy. Again, guys, everything is up here and in here. Let me see that right. There we go. It's in here and up here, everything. And there's no reason. I mean, I should be thankful, and I am thankful, but I need to be more thankful because it's not, here I get to make my own hours. I just left the gym. It was chest day, International Chest Day. Let's go, baby. And I get to live the life that most people dream about. I get to make my own hours. I make my own money. I get to negotiate directly with my customers. There's no one over me other than the agreement that I set with the customer. I'm living the dream. Why would I have a bad attitude, right? And so I'm putting this out today. I'm going to work very, very hard to make sure that in the future, no matter how, if I mess up the bid and I come in under and I got to take my beating, or if the bid's right, but it just takes longer than I want it to, so be it. I'm going to have a smile on my face. I'm going to do excellent work because ultimately I'm not selling services. This is something that I said in my BNI group. Hold on, let me finish my previous point. I'm putting this out today. I'm going to have a good attitude whenever I can. Always, as best I can. And I want to challenge you to do the same thing. There's a book that says he is kind to the unthankful and the evil. And it's very interesting because unthankful and evil are in the same sentence. That's a very interesting situation there. But more importantly, I want to challenge you, have a good attitude. Don't have an attitude of mentality of poverty. Don't. Put it on yourself, because ultimately at the end of the day, you can only control you. I can't control how someone else feels about me. I can be respectful, and I can do the best I can, but at the end of the day, if they hate me for whatever reason, or they hate you for whatever reason, and if it's not founded in any logic, if I hit somebody with a car, there's a good reason why they should probably hate me. But if they hate me for no reason at all, well, that's on them. I just got to be the best person I can be. So I'm not going to have a bad attitude anymore, and I don't want you guys to have a bad attitude anymore, because everything starts here and here, right? Having said that, we need to move forward the best we can logically and making sure that our work and our money is working for us to the greatest degree that we can. And we really got to get after it to whatever degree we can, whether that's on the side, full-time, whatever the case may be, and be thankful really in all of it. And no matter how hard it is. You know, there's a great line from a League of Their Own where Dottie tells Jimmy Dugan, you know, it just got too hard. And Jimmy Dugan says, you know, it's the hard that makes it great. And that's, first off, A League of Their Own is just an amazing movie. If you've never seen A League of Their Own, go watch A League of Their Own. Love it. Fantastic. But that statement is true. If you're going to move forward in life, it's easy to have a mentality of poverty. In the long run, it's very hard, but it's easy to have a mentality of poverty because you're avoiding the hard. You're avoiding the thing that makes it great. I would encourage you, accept that hard, accept that difficulty because there's greatness in it, and have a good attitude doing it. I'm going to do my best from here on out. I'm going to finish this up today. I'm loving life. I can't believe I get to do what I do. And all I do is physical work, but it's mine. It's fantastic. So you guys crush your day. I'm going to crush my day. I may get back to the gym and crush some more chest. Get some more pec flies going. Got to keep the wife interested. But I wanted to get this out. I wanted to be transparent about it. You know, I do my best to do good work. I've yet to do something wrong that I couldn't fix. Which I'm happy about that. There's a lot of guys that getting way over their head, they really cause serious problems. So I'm very fortunate in that regard. I'm pretty cautious when it comes to that stuff. But I'm going to finish this up today, and I'm going to have a good attitude about it. I'm going to be thankful for it. And I'm going to go to the property manager after I'm done, if he's available, shake his hand, say thank you. Sorry that it took longer than I said it would. I apologize. You don't owe me anything. You've paid me enough. Thank you so much. Because I believe that's the attitude that I should have. And I think ultimately that's the attitude of a winner. That's the attitude of the wealthy. So I'm trying. I don't always succeed, but that's what's going to happen. Let's go.